I am just so incredibly, deeply honored to be sitting in the presence of so many precious souls, so many of you that are devoted and committed to waking up, to coming home to yourselves, and to bringing the peace and ease and spaciousness and freedom that comes from these practices into your own lives and the lives of everybody you touch every day in your work, in your families, in your communities, all of it. It truly does feel like it's what gets me up in the morning. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here for yourself and showing up so fully. I'm excited for these 10 days. We'll see how it goes. We will have a variety of practices, and each day I will do maybe 5 or 10 minutes of a little theme or teaching before we move into each practice. And so, whether you're here to just be in a community and feel like you have company in your practice, or you're just hanging on every word, know that every part of you is completely welcome. You can allow my voice to go into the background and just lean into having company and having community here, or you can bring it into the forefront to help anchor you to coming right here and right now in this present moment. Today will be a little more talking than every other day, and you'll notice that throughout the course of these 10 days, there'll be more spaciousness, more expansion, more time to rest into that expansion. I like to talk a little bit more up front as we're arriving, just so we know where we're headed together. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you, to guide you. These practices have genuinely saved my life. They have wrapped warmth around me in moments where I've experienced impossible grief. They've helped me savor goodness in times where I never thought I could have joy or gratitude. And they have helped me meet pain and fear and all of those jagged, scared edges in relationship to myself and others. So maybe there is one practice out of these 10 days that you want to hold close to your heart, maybe all 10, but let whatever works for you, take it, let it be yours. Let everything else go, and just see if there's maybe one thing or 1% of something that you can lean into that can keep you company and keep you warm as you're in your experience of healing and growth and being present here in the world. So, setting intention for me has been everything. Intention really helps me remember how to return again and again and remember my own body's beautiful wisdom and what I'd love to have happen in my own healing and growth. And so let's all just take a few breaths here together. Maybe rest hand on heart or hand on belly if that feels supportive. And let an intention find you. What would you love to have happen for yourself in these next 10 days, or maybe just today? And as you receive these intentions, notice if they are here with you anywhere in your body, heart, belly, feet, mind. It could be simple, it could be complex. We welcome every part here. You might write it down. You might just breathe it deep into your heart. And then let it go. Let it carry you. Let it pull you towards it. And so most of the practices we'll move through together in these next 10 days are really simple. And they're simple on purpose. When we're in the language of our bodies, things tend to be slower here. So we give lots of space and time as we're orienting and listening to ourselves in this way, so that our minds and our bodies can come together and be in a rhythm and a dance at the same time. If you've ever gone hiking or backpacking, we always go at the pace of the slowest hiker. And often that can be our bodies. Our minds tend to go quite fast. And so we imagine we're just out on the trail together, taking in the view, looking at the sun and the warmth and the trees, going just the right pace as our minds and our bodies come together and carry us towards our own deepest wisdom. And so we'll go slow together. And if there are parts of you that are here in these practices that want to go fast, that's great. We welcome those parts too. We say hello to them. They're important. Maybe these practices are brand new to you, or maybe you've heard it all before. Just see if there's a part of you that's open to receiving something fresh and new in this moment, whether it's from me or from your own deepest wisdom or from what's right here in this present moment. Before we move into our first regulation practice in a couple of minutes, I just want to talk about this theme of expand. Many of you already know this and have experienced this, but we cannot hear it enough. That when we can expand our capacity to experience the full spectrum of human emotion, and when we can welcome all parts of ourselves, we can come to a place where we respond to life instead of react. We can meet life with friendliness and be touched with our hearts, whether it's pain or pleasure or anywhere in between. There is a welcomeness, an acceptance. We stop hating or judging, thinking that we need something that's outside of us or we have to push away what we're feeling. We just get to be here, just the way I've been looking at the snow a lot lately and how it rests on the trees in the winter. And the trees just allow this cold snow and blowing wind and winter just to rest here. And so we can meet everything that arrives at our doorstep with that kind of friendliness that gives us so much freedom and so much space. And while it sounds easy, it is some of the hardest work I have ever known in my life, and I am guessing you as well. And so what we can do to help create more space inside of our nervous systems, support our nervous systems to feel safe enough here in this present moment, instead of living out the past again and again in this state of rigidity or reactivity or tension, or in the future where things might be different. We can give space here and now in this present moment and welcome as much safety as possible so that our bodies, our hearts, and our minds can rest here, feeling welcome. And each of these practices are to support that. So when we widen our capacity, we widen our window of tolerance, we can feel everything. We can feel rage, we can feel hopelessness, we can feel helplessness, we can feel immense joy and ecstasy, mundane boredom, and it's all welcome, instead of it making us overwhelmed or stressed or in a state of trying to fix it, figure it out, or make it different. So we'll move into a practice today where we're working with the different systems in the body that jump to fight, flight, freeze, or collapse in a moment of intense stress, And some of us, it jumped there years ago, but it's still kind of doing that. And so we'll work with the adrenals, the kidneys, the brainstem. We'll support your feet, because these are parts of the body that went into action to help us survive. They are trying to help us feel better or feel more free. And sometimes they just get stuck on. And so you might be like, why are we working with my adrenals? Things like that. I'm just going to ask you to just give faith and put your own direct experience into it and see how it feels for you. If at any point in these processes you feel overwhelmed or in pain or uncomfortable, it's pretty rare, but you can come to a resource. So, right now, let's find a resource together. A resource is something that feels supportive and soothing, comforting. It can be in our own bodies, it can be in our environment, it can be with a pet, it could be with our breath. And so just take a moment. You might even start by looking around your space and see if there's anything in your environment that feels soothing or supportive. Maybe it just feels interesting. Could be the way the light dances, could be an object. And let's take a few breaths, just connecting with something on the outside first that feels soothing, comforting. And notice what happens inside as you connect with this. Then allow your attention to wander inside. You can have your eyes open or closed. It could be something like hand to heart, hand to belly. It could be the rhythm of the breath, each inhalation flowing like waves in the sea, and each exhalation flowing like waves in the sea. And if there's anything at all here in the body that feels easy to connect with, let's take a few breaths. And if the body feels hard to connect with, which it does for many, you can keep connecting with a resource that's outside in your space. Yeah. So this can be an anchor for you to return to throughout these practices, throughout your days. And what we'll do now as we move into the practice, let's just find a posture first that feels really supportive. You can sit, you can lie down, you can even stand. And take a moment to let your body find a place to rest. And then we'll take a few more full breaths, just allowing the breath to move in and out naturally through the body. And then we'll bring our intention, just a gentle healing intention, to your right adrenal. And so, just right off the bat, knowing you cannot do this practice wrong, and it we'll just use our imagination to have a sense of the adrenal, which is sitting in the mid to lower back, beneath the bottom rib. It's shaped like a pyramid on this right side, sitting just on top of the kidney. And we're just supporting your adrenal. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Welcoming every part. And we'll be here supporting this adrenal for a few minutes, just allowing plenty of time and space for it to rest into support. And whatever comes up, comes up. It's all welcome. Yeah, supporting your right adrenal. And your body doesn't need to be completely still as we're here. Allow it to shift and move as it wishes. And then we'll float away from your right adrenal. Gently float on over to your left adrenal. Resting our intention here. And your left adrenal is shaped like a half moon sitting on top of the kidney here. Open to all of the possibilities of healing with a little support. And you might notice some noise in your mind. Not a problem. Letting your mind think as much as it needs to. And I'm just right here when your mind needs an anchor, supporting your left adrenal. And then we'll float away from your left adrenal and come all the way up to the very top of your spinal cord at your brain stem. And it's at the juncture here where the spinal cord comes up through the hole in the base of your skull, right at the top of the spine. And we can rest our intention here at your brain stem. Maybe even offering your brainstem gratitude for all the ways it has kept you alive, helped you survive, if that feels resonant or supportive. Maybe saying hello to the part of you that has led you here to this moment in time, led you to these practices. Yeah, supporting your brainstem. And just allowing blood flow, letting it open up as it naturally allows. And then we'll come all the way down to your feet and ankles for a minute here. And we can support your ankles to be open. They're like hinges like how a door opens and closes. We can support your ankles to be open so that any energy that's not serving you today can flow down and out of your body and exit back to the earth. And flowing back through the soles of the feet. And then we'll rest here in a healing silence for a minute, just letting your body integrate this work. And you can continue to rest, or you can follow the sound of my voice back into the room, into the space, staying connected to anything that feels supportive, supported, as we move together out into our days. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Move slow, drink water. Thank you. Thank you so much for your practice and showing up for yourself today.